Showtime.
It is officially showtime. Hello, everybody. How are y'all doing on this lovely Monday morning? How are you doing, Cass?
I'm okay. I'm tired.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a long week and some
It's only
change.
Monday.
I know, but like this is my weekend. So
I guess it's true.
thank goodness. I need it.
How's everybody in the chat doing?
There we go. Get the vibes going. Wow, I think this is a record for silence for us. We've done so well.
It's a Monday morning. We're all tired. I think that gives us an excuse.
A little bit of a grace.
Exactly.
Grace period.
Yeah. Hope you guys are well rested. Everybody.
Oh, I'm so well rested.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Because the first text I got from Cass this morning was, I'm tired, with the little emoji.
But it's true. Oh, my goodness.
See, Monday late afternoon over here. Yeah, for anybody not in the U.S., how's your Monday afternoon going? Maybe your Monday night? Hell, maybe your Tuesday morning. I don't exactly know how far ahead
what
the
are time zones.
It's probably not Tuesday yet. Probably like a Monday night type
Probably.
beat. Yeah. 4 o'clock where I am, and I've already had a whole day of school. The productivity. Stop flexing on me.
I like just woke up like 45 minutes ago.
It's a rainy Monday morning here. Wish I stayed in bed. Me too. It was like super bright when I woke up this morning, but now it's getting dark because I think it's supposed to rain like today and tomorrow. So normally I'd be all for it, but I need to film this morning, like when we're done. So no, not good.
It's looking pretty sunny for me. I won't be stepping outside because it's 88 degrees Fahrenheit out there, but it says it's going to be sunny.
Excited because today's my last day of school, or the Wednesday is your last day of school. Well, congrats on almost being at your last day of school.
Almost free.
The last day of school is always it's such a good day because you just don't do anything. It's so nice. Been awake since 5 a.m. R.I.P. I've been up for like 2 hours, so not as good as that.
I'm from Sweden. It's been so sunny and warm the whole week, but it's pouring rain now. Gotta love the rain, except for when you need to film. Right.
I know. Normally I'm all for the rain, but I feel like it's always raining in the morning here, which is like the only time of day I enjoy filming. So I'm like, what's that about? It's rude.
I got to experience some rain, just not in Florida. I was in Santo Domingo yesterday, and it started raining before our flight took off. It was nice. It was a little bumpy. It was nice.
There's a little turbulence.
What's a little turbulence?
Yeah, as long as you're not falling out of the sky, then it's a vibe.
True.
Yeah.
It's almost winter here, but tell me why today is sunny and really hot.
I feel like that's how the Midwest weather works. It could be like, yeah, no, honestly, it's like some days it's like 35 degrees, and then the next day it's like sunny, 60. It's just ridiculous.
Texas has been wild lately. Like, I keep checking the news because that's where my family lives, and they're getting like hailstorms and like severe rain and like flooding and all this like severe weather. I'm like, what's going on? Texas, are you all right?
You left Texas and everything went to shit.
That's what it feels like.
Live in Iowa so I can verify that the Midwest weather is messed up. Yeah. Exactly. It's a vibe.
Oh my gosh.
So we'll probably
we usually wait until about 10 minutes in before we start talking about the book, by the way. We don't typically just blather on about the weather the entire time, but
I don't know. I think that pretty much aligns with how these live shows have been going.
True.
Well, actually, no. I feel like sometimes you do have good
I
discussions.
feel like last year, I think we had a lot more like just random battlings.
Yeah, I think we've kind of like hit our stride, you know?
Well, the streak might end today.
We did hit our stride with the An Ember in the Ashes series. That was just...
We did.
We'll see how it goes today.
We do have an announcement to make at the end of this live, so make sure you stick around.
Important announcement.
Important. It'll be posted like everywhere else,
Yeah.
but
if you want the news first, that'll be 99 cents. You can send that to my Venmo.
Please.
Feels very British to be complaining about the weather. Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like it's such a universal thing, though.
Yeah.
Like, really what bonds us together, the weather.
We all live on this one planet called Earth. We all experience the weather, the ups, the downs, the sun, the rain. Feels like a very unifying experience. Much like this book club, you know? It's a metaphor. It's all a metaphor.
It's too early for this. For this tomfoolery.
Yeah, I don't care. I enjoy partaking in some tomfoolery before noon. I don't know about you guys.
Your brand.
What have you been up to recently, Cass?
Flying. So much working. Needing to film things and instead works like, let me call you.
Like, hey, actually, can you like take a quick little jaunt down to Santo Domingo?
That's what
You need from your wrap up, but that really sucks.
I did. I wanted to film my wrap up yesterday, fully planned on it. And then I looked at my schedule and they had me work a flight to Santo Domingo and then back. And I'm like, can we chill? I wanted to film.
Don't they know that I'm a professional YouTuber? I have things to do. I feel like that excuse probably won't fly.
No.
Hey.
But like even the days before they called me too. I'm like, come on now. Don't they know my schedule?
Honestly.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, what are you currently reading? I'm currently reading Checkmate by Allie Hazelwood. What are you in the middle of, Cass?
What am I not in the middle of at this point? Halt's Peril, which is Ranger's Apprentice, book 9.
Poor Halt.
Of course. I have Valor by John Gwynne and The Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne that I'm also in the middle of.
That's so bold to be in the middle of 2 of his different series.
It was an accident. I was supposed to be done Valor by this point. And now I have to film my reading vlog for my Patreon, which I'm still in the middle of, still trying. But work keeps calling me.
Gotta hate it. I'm currently like 6 pages into Emma by Jane Austen, so that's going well.
Whoa.
I know.
Whoa.
I know. I'm reading a classic, and I'm better
months?
than all of you. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm only 6 pages into it. I feel like Jane Austen, she loves a good run-on sentence, and like by the time I get to the end of the sentence, I'm like, what happened at the beginning of the sentence? Like, I don't even know, man. She just keeps like using more commas, and we're like going from like one thing to the next. I'm like, all right, yeah, sure.
That's so
I get the
funny.
vibe. Yeah. If I wasn't annotating it, I'd just be like eyes glazed over. I also need to like get back into it because I'm only 6 pages into it, so that's not helping.
I'm just shocked at how close you've been reading these classics. I mean, you finished Persuasion recently.
Well, I need to use the momentum of finishing that to like get myself to pick up the next one. So
then you'll achieve your goal, your yearly goal.
I only wanted to read 2, so
look at her go. So proud.
And then I'm also in the middle of Arcanum Unbounded by Brandon Sanderson still. I have like a couple stories left, and the one that I'm currently reading, I'm not liking it.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm reading Sixth of the Dusk right now. It's not my favorite, and I'm a little scared because I think his next secret project is like based on the same planet
Oh.
Maybe. I could be really wrong about that, but like I think that's how it goes. And I'm just like, I don't know.
You know what time it is?
Oh yeah, we're 10 minutes in. It's time to talk about the City of Brass. Oh wait, where's mine? Honestly,
Shame her for the laundry. Shame her for the laundry.
I could not care any less about my laundry being back there. I thought I returned this to the library already, but I do still have it.
Wow.
This is like the equivalent of what you just did.
Yeah, I was trying to... Oh, wait, you have a map? I didn't have a map. Oh, yeah, I do.
Katie reminds me of my cat when he trots. That is a high compliment. Thank you. No, not the shame bell. What is this? Hurtful. I'm trying my best, guys.
So, Katie. City of Brass. How are we feeling? Oh, star ratings, everyone.
Star ratings, yeah.
Star ratings. What are we feeling?
What did everybody rate City of Brass? Or the City of Brass?
The City of... Is it the City of Brass? No way.
I always feel like...
I was going to, and then I totally forgot. I was going to take, like, City of Bones and, like, just put Brass. Or I would say City of Brass. That's just, like, a little ha-ha. But I forgot. Okay, yeah. Star ratings. 4.25, 5, 3.5, 3, 3.5, 5, 4. Wow, these are really mixed.
See, I didn't read it. I just joined for entertainment purposes. Well,
4s, lots of 4s. Okay.
Well, here's the thing. I think if I was going to rate it, I'd probably give it like a 3-star.
I think I gave it a 3 or a 3.5. I don't recall. But
I didn't love it. I really didn't love it.
Yeah. I don't know if Katie and I were talking about this and the fact that we chose like 2 fantasy series that are very similar in the fact that they're set like in the Middle East and have like those sorts of mystical fantasy inspirations.
Yeah.
I don't know if we were just like burnt out by the time we finished Ember in the Ashes series or like
not our best call.
So again, it could just be a me problem too, because every book I've read lately, like nothing's going on up here. I blacked out most of it.
Head empty.
Me too.
I feel like it's been a minute now since I like read this book. So we'll see how this discussion goes.
I liked the beginning. I will say the beginning when we were introduced to Nari. I thought that was fun. I liked the atmosphere of like the town she was in. I liked like the start of her character when she was like swindling people, that sort of thing. I thought it was going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
But ironically, when we got to Daevabad, that's when I lost the enjoyment. Because I liked the travel up to that point. But then once we were in the city, I don't know why I didn't like it. Because typically I do like things that have like kingdoms and politics and like war brewing and that sort of vibe.
Yeah.
No, listen.
If any of you love this series, it's not a personal affront. I feel like this probably just wasn't the best time for us to read this book. For either of us, really. Like, you know, it could have been right book, wrong time, or maybe we wouldn't have liked it either way. I don't know. But like...
Which is also really interesting because I like Chakraborty's writing. Because I read The Adventures of Amina al-Sarafi, and I found her writing really easy to get into and very fun, and her humor was very nice. And I felt the same way about her writing in this one. It was easy to read, but I think the world building just got lost on me. But again, every time I picked up this book, I had been awake for an excessive period of time. And I was like, I just need to finish the book.
Just need to keep going.
So I think part of it could be like the wrong timing for us. So
somebody said, and I very much agree with this, I love the gorgeous setting, the landscapes, the city, all the different cultures and clothing. I thought I really enjoyed all of those aspects to it. And like the setting was really good. But I just found the plot to like not be super interesting for most of it. And nothing about it really like made me want to keep reading it ever. Like every time I picked it up, I was just like, all right, I'm gonna just keep going. But I was never like excited to read it, which I think is like my main issue with it.
well, even looking back on like what happened plot wise, I feel like not much happened. And potentially like more happens in books 2 and 3 that like this is more like set up for like the main action and stuff, but just like the overarching storyline of this book felt so flat
Mm-hmm.
and just a little boring.
Yeah, I feel like I also really enjoyed the beginning, like basically everything you said about it. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm probably like, at least enjoy this. But the travel, like when they started traveling, I was like, this is kind of interesting. Nari and Dara had like a bantery almost type of thing going on. And I do enjoy reading that. Although, side note, I didn't like the romance. I thought it was, we'll get there. But like when we got to Daevabad, I was just like, what happened while we were there? Like a lot of politics happened, which I think is like the main point of this book. But I don't really like political fantasy. Sometimes I can get into it, but like for the most part, it's not really my thing. But like that's really what this book was. And I just didn't love that part. So
Excuse me. Sorry. Just sneeze. I don't want to sneeze over your conversation.
Thank you for such respect.
Oh my goodness. I saw.
Yeah, bless you. Bless you.
Thank you. So I was trying to find the comment I was reading. Elena says, I really enjoyed the world building, and that was a big part of the book, but the setup for the next book also sounds very promising, probably a lot less world building. And the world was interesting. I think like the world itself was nice. I think the politics is where it really lost me with like who was who and like what was going on. But again, could be a me issue. And the romance, it felt so out of place and not authentic. It felt so forced.
Yeah, like when they were in, I don't know, maybe it was like the first like little scene where they were in like the tent. I was like, is this going where I think it's going? Because like, why is it going this way? And I feel like they have
bantering.
And I feel like in a lot of fantasy books that like aren't, I don't want to say this. I just feel like a lot of times in fantasy there are romances thrown in when there don't need to be romances thrown in. I feel like they could have formed like a really strong friendship and still kind of progress the plot in somewhat of a similar way. When I just feel like, I don't know, just like, oh, not this.
And it's almost a love triangle between like Dara and Allie as well. And I felt like every instance just felt so forced, especially like with Dara originally. It felt very like insta-lovey, which I didn't understand, especially coming from Nari, who grew up in a situation where she was built to kind of take advantage of people and not really trust people. It didn't make sense that she suddenly was like falling for these people like left and right.
Yeah. Someone said, agreed, I'm tired of a human girl and a 1,000-year-old magic man. Honestly, yeah, like sometimes like the classics, like Twilight, I'm like, whatever. I mean, he's not like 1,000 years old, but like kind of like similar like age gap concept. But like sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And like I don't support this one.
Yeah, got a couple people agreeing that they would have been better as friends and the romance just could have been left out. I agree with that.
Another shadow daddy.
Another shadow daddy. Oh my goodness.
So I feel like if the book was shorter, it would have been better. There was so much filler, and I agree the romance was random insta-love. Even though I do love Dara. Yeah, I really enjoyed Dara's character. I thought he was really interesting, and I like the perspective that he gives the story, but just his whole dynamic with Nari was like unnecessary, I guess.
Yeah. I feel like if the book was shorter, it would have been better. There was too much filler, and I do agree the romance was random.
I just read that comment.
Oh, you did? Oh my gosh. I didn't hear the book was shorter part.
It was so good. We had to read it twice.
I was listening, I swear. I think I was reading comments as you were reading it.
See, I like that none of the characters are flawless. I enjoyed that too. I feel like a lot of them, I was like, you're doing some interesting things here. I don't know if I agree with them, but I think it definitely made me enjoy them as characters, but I don't know if I'd say I liked any of the characters in this book, like, a whole lot.
I felt very disattached from each and every single one of them. Like, nothing really drew me in. Like, I liked Nari in the beginning, but I don't know if it was the romance that, like, turned me off from her character or just the new atmosphere. I don't know.
So I just read the whole trilogy, and I think the plot picks up a lot, especially in book 2. Well, that's good, I guess.
I think that, yeah, the different, like, cultures and people, I think it was really interesting that we got to see, like, the history of different sides and how, like, nobody's perfect and certain things that happened were not necessarily a character's fault. They were, like, you know, like, Dara was, like, ordered to do certain things, but again, he still followed through with those, but, like, the world was very different, and then we have, like, the rebellions and, like, different people having their own motivations. Like, Ali wants peace between people, and then his father doesn't agree with that method, and using people to other people's advantages, like when, you know, the king made Nari put on this whole speech about how Dara was a traitor and all of that. And that was
I really liked all of, like, the background information in this book was interesting. I just feel like at points in time, it was just like, it was a lot being given to you at once. But I think you can tell, like, it's really well thought out and, like, pretty well done, I'd say. So I liked that part a lot. I also did like that part of the world building did pull from, like, actual places in the world. I thought that was cool that, like, we were set, like, parts of it were, like, in Cairo, and then, like, you had the more magic-y things going on. So I thought that was an interesting blend.
Mixture. See, for me, like, the opposite, I don't know what it is, but when, like, fantasy books take place in the real world, like, with I don't know. And it could just be this one that, like, pulled me out. But anytime I'm like, that's a real place. And then we have a fictional place. I'm like, what's going on? But again, I think it could have just been this one.
I like that. I find it easier to, like, kind of root myself in this world and, like, orient myself in it. But, like, I do want it to have some sort of, like, a magical place to it, which I enjoyed kind of that setting for this book.
Interesting. Because I had the same problem with Amina. So I don't know if it's just how Chakraborty does it that, like, turns me off for some reason.
Maybe I should check out Amina, because I liked that in this book.
They're on a boat. You know how I feel about boats.
I love a good boat. Big boats.
Boat. Oh my gosh, yes, this. I totally forgot about that. The massive, like, mini time jumps. So much time was passing that I, like, didn't comprehend for me. And then I was like, we're 2 months later already? Or, like, we're a week later already?
See, I feel like I'm kind of okay with that stuff because I feel like in a lot of fantasy books, a lot of things happen too quickly, and I feel like kind of drawing it out that way made it more believable that, like, all of these things were happening in this one book. So I was okay with those.
I think I just kept missing every time would pass.
Oh.
So I'd be so confused. I'm like, how are we here already?
Yeah, never read anything based in Egypt before, and I truly love the culture and rich world building. Yeah, I liked it a lot. I need to read more books, like, with like, set in Egypt or just, like, generally in that area, because I always think it's really fascinating when I see anything relating to it. She do.
So I know why they put the romance in with Dara after reading the rest of the series, but definitely agree they could have just kept them as friends.
I think if it has, like, a significance in the rest of the series in some way, then it should have been built up better still. Man, this is a big book. How have we run out of things to talk about already?
I don't have anything else of note that I can remember off the top of my head.
Whose points of view were, like, your favorites to read from?
Honestly, they switched back and forth. Like, I feel like overall I enjoyed Nari's point of view more, but there was a couple chapters with Ali that I really enjoyed, especially the scenes when like he was sparring with Dara. That was probably like my favorite chapter. I was like so in it. I'm like, yes, fight.
I really liked his friendship, Ollie's friendship with Nari, and I really hope it doesn't turn into like a romance thing, because I don't want it to turn into like a romance thing, but I thought kind of seeing, you know, their differences and seeing them kind of move past those and become friends and like pretty like close friends, I'd say. I liked that a lot. But I'm scared that like
Yeah.
it's gonna like move a little further.
Yeah. Someone said the last few chapters were so fast, and I absolutely agree with that. I felt like just like so much started happening at the end, which was good in terms of like the reveals. I was like, oh my gosh, it was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But I feel like it wrapped up really quickly. But again, it's a series, so I feel like they typically do that to keep you like on a cliffhanger to entice you to read the second book. But I really like the fact that Nari actually liked being pampered. I'm so sick of the main character refusing that treatment because they feel so so uncomfortable. Good for her, right?
No, honestly, like if you got it, use it.
Take advantage of it.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of characters are like, oh, I don't deserve this, and Nari's like, bring it on.
Like bring me
My
food.
life is in hell up to
Thank
this
you.
point. Give me shit.
No, literally. So what did everybody think of Ali being exiled? Although honestly, based on how his father was acting the whole book, it checks out, I'd say. But
Yeah.
I would be interested to see what that leads to.
I like that they did that instead of like executing him, because then like I feel like we get, maybe not like a lot, but typically if someone's like led to an execution, I feel like they're easily rescued. But this is like a different form of execution.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really creative.
And I feel like it's
So
almost
sad,
like
but
I feel like it's almost worse for him than like actually just being executed.
100%.
So like I'd be interested to see like how that plays out and how the POVs would like continue to overlap throughout the series. Because obviously they will. So
I hated the king though. I hated him so much. He was so sketchy the whole book. I'm like, what are we doing here?
I feel like when are kings in fantasy books not sketchy though? I feel like for the most part they all
Fair.
suck.
Fair. So fair.
So giving him his true name felt so stupid. Like he didn't even brush against that concept in a book he read. I feel like for all of the knowledge that he has and all the time that he's had in his life to like look into these things, you'd think he wouldn't do that, but whatever.
We're talking about, that was Ali, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like maybe because he was like 100% dying.
Yeah, but based on how he feels about the djinn, it seems like or not the djinn, but God, I don't even 100% remember. Yeah, he didn't like some group of people, and based on how he felt about that, I just think it's an interesting choice, but I guess it makes sense if you're that desperate.
Yeah. I feel like drowning's such a horrible way to go as well.
Mm-hmm. It's terrifying. Can't swim
That
very
scene
well
was
myself, so.
crazy.
Hmm?
When he was possessed.
Yeah. No, I really liked that part. I thought that was cool.
I'm like, what's going on?
It's like, I love it. Give me more of that. I just wish there would have been like more exciting things happening throughout the book instead of like there just being exciting things happening at the end of it. Like maybe just like a little something in the middle.
Yeah.
Spice it up a bit.
It did. Like, it was interesting in the beginning, and then it really dragged. So I feel like maybe if they condensed the middle down, for we still had like the key world building points and like necessary like plot developments that we needed, but without it dragging as much as it did. Ali's brother I liked at the beginning, a classic firstborn who doesn't want to be the king, but when he heard he was going to marry Nari, I really started disliking him. He was an interesting character. I never could tell whether or not I should trust him or not.
Yeah.
It was very much back and forth where I'm like, oh my gosh, he's covering for Ali. And then I was like, is he taking advantage of Ali? What's going on now? And I'm like,
Yeah, I feel like
Sure.
in that regard, the characters are just like really well written because I feel like I never really know exactly what some of these characters like goals or motives are.
Yeah.
And I like that being like kept in suspense gives me something to like stay engaged in the story a bit.
It's just ironic that like for both of us, we like didn't feel connected to them, but they were good characters with like
Yeah.
their own motives and it's almost like parallel to how we felt about them in the Ashes series with those characters as well.
Yeah.
We're like those weren't as fleshed out, I will say, and they all started kind of feeling the same, but they had interesting motives and interesting like choices that were made.
Mm-hmm.
But there's still that weird disconnect with the characters.
Yeah, like I just don't understand what it is. This book indeed is very much for the lovers of world building. Yeah, I think sometimes I really like world building, but sometimes I'm just like, can we get to the plot a little bit more? And that's kind of how I was feeling about this one.
The elements were interesting though. I did enjoy like the magic and like the
I
different
like the
creatures
magic, yeah.
and elements like that, but
Yeah.
I have to sneeze again.
I feel like it's been a minute since I read this book, so I don't know if I have much else to really bring up. Bless you. But if anybody else has anything that they want to talk about,
I don't.
we're all
I saw someone's
ears.
comment being like, I don't have much to say because I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. And that's kind of, it was kind of just like an average book that I read, you know? I enjoyed it to an average extent.
Yeah, I just feel like apathetic towards it now at this point. Like after I finished it, I was like, oh yeah, that was fine. But I feel like it's been like a couple weeks since I finished it. And I'm just like, eh. I recognize that like it's a good book, but like just like a lot of the elements just didn't work well for me. So
Have we harked on the book enough?
you know,
It
so
does
much
feel
world
so
building.
stupid to murder all the healers in the world. Yeah, there wasn't much logic to that.
Yeah. I also don't really love like the like, oh, you're the last of your kind trope. You have to like go. You know, I'm like, what are the odds? Honestly, what are the odds? Obviously, they're the main character, so that's how it's gonna go down. But like,
and again, like the reasoning for Dara being like, no, like you can't be with me because I can't give you children, and you need children. It felt so like weird. He's like, because I'm dead. I'm like, again, like another point to like, why couldn't they have just stayed friends and then it wouldn't be so like.
also, maybe he should stop making decisions for her and let her make her own decisions instead of being like, you need children. Like, yeah, I know, like the world needs more like healers, but like, let her make that choice.
See if she wants to pop out babies. Maybe talk about it first.
I'm tired of seeing the main female lead that came from surviving on the streets to being pampered in a palace. I feel like I'm still kind of a sucker for that trope. I do like that. Depending on how it's done, normally I love a good like rags to riches moment.
Okay, but Nari really bring him back to life by wanting it really bad. Kind of.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's that gin magic. It's crazy.
Gin magic.
Magic.
Goodness. Oh, but missing air as well. Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah. I feel like I don't want to say I do like that stuff, but like I do kind of like it. It's just such a classic like fantasy trope that I'm like, yeah, there is a missing air. Yeah, I like that. Like of course there is.
I feel like I've definitely said my piece.
I feel like I don't really have much of a piece to say, so See, I like it too, but I'm burnt out from reading it so often. That's fair. The tropes, that is. Never really read anything with Jin magic besides the Witcher series. Have you read many books with it as an element? I think A Number in the Ashes might be the first series that I've read where Jin play a major role in the story, but I would definitely be interested in reading others. Just not so close to when I read A Number in the Ashes.
Yeah. I didn't know the Witcher series had Jin magic.
I didn't either, but I feel like they got everything going on in that series.
I really thought it was Norse inspired. I was really convinced.
Oh.
I don't know why. I also just really don't know anything about The Witcher, so
I watched 2 episodes of the show, which I know are very different from the books, but I did not like it. That's not my kind of show. But you haven't read the Witcher series, I highly recommend it. Noted.
I DNF'd it because it just wasn't for me, and I don't think I will be reading the series, but I'm excited to see the next series that you guys will pick up. About that.
So, here's the thing. It's announcement time.
It's announcement time.
Me and Cass have been talking, and I'm really sorry if you guys liked this book and wanted to continue it, but I don't think either of us want to continue this series. So we're not going, me and Cass are not going to be reading the other 2 in the series. We're going to leave we're going to set up channels for Kingdom of Copper in the last one so you guys can talk about it in the Discord. They're already up?
Yeah.
There you go. But because we're not enjoying it, I don't really think it would be the best idea for us to continue to push through and then just not have great things to say about the second or third books.
Yeah, we don't want to push through and not enjoy it and then hark on the book. That's not what
I don't think that would be fun for anybody. So we're not going to do that. But we actually have a second half to this announcement if you want to talk about this.
So we're going to be taking, is it June? Yeah, it's June. We're going to be taking June off. And then we're going to pick up our next series July, August, September. It will be a reread for us. We chose the Mistborn series.
Oh, wait, I just talked over you when you said it.
We chose the Mistborn series to reread with you guys. And this will actually be the last series for the book club.
Mm-hmm.
So we wanted to end it off with a bang.
Yeah.
But we do want to continue running the book club. We just, with both of our schedules and how busy we became, it just, logistically, we haven't been enjoying it as much because we always wait till the last minute to read the book. And it's just, we didn't really feel the motivation to keep things going. However, I want to keep the Discord running with choosing monthly books for y'all can still read it and discuss it together. We just won't be hosting discussions.
The live shows.
Yeah.
This makes me it makes me sad, even though I know it's probably going to be better this way because we won't be pushing through books at the last minute for the book club. But I'm also I think it'll be better this way. You guys can still talk about it in the Discord. We can still continue to enjoy running the book club for you, but just in a different way. But I've loved this book club so much. It's been 2 years. It's been so much fun.
2 years.
So thank you guys so much. If you've been here from the start or if you've joined very recently, it's been honestly a highlight of, my life.
It was really the first thing that Katie and I built together.
Yeah.
So
no, it's been great.
It's been so fun, and that's not to say we will ever never ever do another discussion ever again. We talked about potentially doing sprints in the future when we feel like it. But we would love to be able to do it more when we feel like it and not when it by the time the end of the month goes and we're shoot. And especially with my schedule being so chaotic, I feel like most people that can join on the weekends. And typically I now have to work on the weekends. So it just makes it harder to run things.
Yeah.
It's been a good run.
I feel 2 years is
next
good
month to celebrate the start of the 3-year mark. But we wanted to end the book club off with a bang with Mistborn because we both do really love the series. Or at least Katie loves the first one. I don't know how she feels about the second.
No, like I'm so excited to see how I feel about the second and third ones, like on a reread, even though it hasn't been that long since I read them the first time. But I think it'll be good. I think it'll be very slay.
I'm excited. I think I'm going to annotate it this go around. So
I think I'm going to as well. But like, I don't know if I'll be able to annotate like the UK paperbacks because they're so just like, you can't open them.
I think mine are already wrecked in terms of like when I read them last time. So
yeah. Time to finally finish Mistborn, I guess. Absolutely. It's time to finish Mistborn. And then go on to read Era 2. Are you going to go on to read Era 2, Cass?
I'm going to reread Era 2.
Yes.
Kind of excited this go around. Hopefully I'll not read it when I'm like traveling like I did before. I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah. Although considering you're a flight attendant, when are you not traveling?
Hush.
I've been wanting to get back into the Cosmere, so this is perfect. Honestly, like Mistborn, I think is the best way to start with the Cosmere. Like that's my definitive answer now. No more standalone stuff. I'm only telling people to get into Mistborn.
I'm so happy that you are excited and you guys understand where we're coming from. We're sad, but we're also happy that we're going to end on a high note. You know, we don't want to like beat a dead horse, you know?
Like, I don't think anybody wants to continue to do things that they're not like absolutely loving. So I feel like you guys understand and I appreciate you all for understanding.
Absolutely. I will make channels in the Discord for everyone can discuss. I'll probably do that mid-June. We'll make an announcement in the upcoming week. Basically, what we just said, but in text format, in case you forget, and for everyone else can know. But y'all get the exclusive in the know.
Also, somebody asked if the Mistborn audiobooks are any good. Let me tell you, I love the Cosmere audiobooks so much. The Mistborn ones are narrated by Michael Kramer, but some of them are narrated by him and his wife. And they're all so good. Like, I have never, well, actually, I think maybe some of the standalones are narrated by different people, but I know Mistborn, the audiobooks are good. Also, the audiobooks for Stormlight, so good. The audiobooks for the Secret Projects, also so good. I have very strong feelings about these audiobooks because they are some of my favorite audiobook narrators. So 100% recommend the audiobook.
There you go.
Strong feelings about it.
All right. That is all we have to say. Thank you so much for joining our discussion. And we will see you in July.
I'm so excited to reread The Final Empire.
So excited too. I've been wanting to reread that since I finished it.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
All right, bye. Have a great rest of your Monday.